right, Trudy, Anthony, great to be here with both of you. Thank you so much for joining me, and looking forward to working with you on this really important search for the school. And you both are right there in the ed tech program and other areas as well. So you'll give a nice perspectives on what's going on technology wise, vis-a-vis the curriculum, the student experience, and so on. But let's start first with your personal experiences and just talk a little bit about your respective backgrounds and what brought you to Chapin. Trudy, you've been there quite a while, so would love to have you go first.
Sure. Hi, I'm Trudy Goodman. I'm currently in the roles of associate head of our middle school, which is grades 4 through 7, and I'm also the director of academic technology for our middle school. This is my 17th year at Chapin, and I have had many roles over those 17 years, which is one of the reasons I've stayed here so long. It's been great to try new hats and work with different people. In my current role, I'm able to teach a sixth grade technology class that keeps me in the classroom, which I really love.
Super. Anthony?
Yes, my name is Anthony Larson. I'm the upper school director of academic technology and computer science teacher for grades 8 through 12. I joined the school not nearly as long ago, but now it's feeling a little sooner. It was 2020, mid-pandemic year. Um, Circumstances needed for my wife and I to change locations, and so I put myself out there with the ed tech recruiting company, and they connected me with Chapin. And it was a pretty seamless process getting to know Vivian, our former director of technology, and Alana primarily. And that really drew me to the school. Questions that they asked, conversations we had through the interview process was just extraordinary. Um, I was brought in to teach math and computer science, and in that first year, it that role started to grow. I helped the school navigate an upgrade to our student learning management system. So we moved to Canvas, and I got brought into various projects, whether it was parts of the website or into our student information system. All of those kept building together. And so I found myself on the EdTech team and getting to work with Trudy and uh, a great team of IT folks we have. I also have a background in IT support, so that uh, is a natural kind of extension of the work I do. Uh, and I love being at Chase.
That's wonderful. Appreciate you both. And clearly, you have found a great home. And for those of you, for folks who are watching who haven't been to Chapin, haven't stepped into your home, just talk a bit further about the academic program. What it's like to work there. What are some hallmarks of it? And certainly, since you're both so connected to the ed tech program, talk about some important either pillars of that or what's sort of exciting things that are going on at this juncture. Maybe Trudy, you want to start us
Sure.
off?
Happily. Well, I should say one of the things that brought me to Chapin is my own all-girls school experience. So, I attended an all-girls school, third grade through 12th grade, and those were, as usual, very formative years, but I think all the more so because of my all-girls school experience. So that really drew me to working here. Um, I would say we are a very collaborative environment, which is supported by the fact that we're all together in one building, which may not sound that unusual for folks from outside of New York City, but many of our peer schools have multiple buildings. And so while you're one school, you may not all be in the same place or even the same campus. And so that really sets us apart. And so we're K through 12, 13 floors. And that, means that I get to have lunch with Anthony sometimes, and we get to have our students work together. And so that's one of the things that I really love about working here. And I'd say in a larger sense too, we're very collaborative in terms of interdisciplinary approaches to our teaching and opportunities for students to see connections between their classes. In the ed tech space, one thing I'm really excited about this year is that we've added in the middle school a STEAM coordinator. And so I used to actually at one point in this role be teaching fourth and fifth grade and sixth grade. And so I have some more support in this realm. And I think having another person, another set of eyes and ears will help. First of all, she can be more directed developmentally to fourth and fifth grade, but also we can be looking a little bit more holistically across the middle school. And we with our Canvas adoption, I think Anthony, this is year 4 for Canvas. Our second year for Veracross, which we brand internally as My Chapin. And so that has been a journey over this past year implementing the new SIS, and from the student facing side, I think they're finding it, and parents too. I'm actually a Chapin parent as well. I can say that that's become more seamless. So we're really conscious of that, in terms of cognitive load, especially for our students, and thinking about how we can, as often as possible, be, kind of, it's not always one stop shop, but narrowing down the places that kids need to go, and as well as our professional community, our parents, for information. So that's been something big on our mind. And just really briefly, I'll say that we, of course, like everybody, have been thinking a lot about AI, and we're very much in the early stages of coming up with some sort of policy or expectations around that. And I think that's really exciting. I really enjoy the sort of thought leadership around that. So this next person will, I'm sure, play a big role in the mix there.
Excellent. Anthony, feel free to add in either perspectives on the upper school side or just some of the, again, curricular things that you've been working on or seeing colleagues have been working on.
Well, so I'll reiterate the strength that's in the all under one roof. It's sometimes it can feel very crowded, but on the whole, the takeaway that I get is we really have a sense of the program that kids see starting from kindergarten, going all the way to 12th grade. And the fact that we interact as tech integrators across all those grades, we're really starting to understand that journey the kids are taking and how it translates into the opportunities and the elective courses that they have in their upper level years. A piece that I guess I'd like to focus on big time is that I'm really proud of the robotics program that we've built here. Um, it's from the youngest kids with like Autobots and little like up, down, left, right programs to getting into the Lego, what used to be Mindstorms. Now it's help me, Spike Prime. There we
Oh,
go.
sorry. Yes. Yeah, I got
Yeah,
distracted.
I always get lost in the years of robotics. But building from that, and then we have a pretty solid Arduino course that's actually with fifth and sixth grade kids. And then they build up into an engineering course for older students. And then finally, we have a very robust first robotics challenge. It's a big, the first program, if you're familiar with it, huge robots, very complicated, um, a lot of fabrication and 3D design, uh, a lot of building and failing, sometimes having unintended impacts like breaking a door in the building, but the kids really having that creativity to try it, see what's going to happen, to feel comfortable enough to try it again and to keep building their skills. And so that is a program that, as I started and I came on board, it really drew me in. And so I've now become one of the head coaches for that team. Um, in regards to the AI curriculum, I think the one big thing that I'd highlight in the upper school right now is that we are really taking a purposeful approach on a number of topics surrounding elections, right? Because this is a pivotal year. And so the AI conversation building into that, what's a lot of things about what is real, what is not real, being able to understand your sources, being able to leverage things like AI to pull more out of the data and the access that we have, but also being really mindful of those limitations or biases that can creep into it. And so I'm really proud of the work that we're doing. It's really from a humanities level that's then intersecting with all the computer science that happens under the surface.
No, it's great. Well, speaking of intersecting, you both talked about a variety of different, what I might call ed tech modalities or lanes, everything from robotics to data to different systems. And of course, there's just the general program itself. And so now as you think about how the IT department can support all this and has been, and really what you're looking for in that next director, what are either some things on the horizon or what are some important just elements that you hope somebody brings to the table, and or just would be helpful for someone to know
Mhm.
about either what's going on under the hood or what's percolating right now for you all as you think about the next chapter at Chapin. Trudy, you want to start us off?
Sure. I mean, I don't want to speak for Anthony, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I think, we both appreciate the fact that our most recent director of technology was a teacher first. And so, whether somebody looking at this role has had some classroom experience or extensive classroom experience, we want them to have that viewpoint or be able to assume that viewpoint of the classroom teacher, and be able to appreciate, how the IT decisions impact, in real time students and teachers. So that's really key. And I think that the pace is sometimes the biggest issue there, right? Because a teacher standing up in front of a classroom, needing a screen to work or needing something to work on the back end of one of our systems. And, there's an immediacy there that I feel like understanding from the classroom perspective is really helpful. Um, I'd say somebody who, like we both highlighted, it's a very collaborative place, is willing to do that, is decisive, right? Because we need a leader. We need somebody who's going to be willing to make some hard decisions, but also to really to up to that moment, like build consensus and develop a real sense of the needs from various perspectives. That's huge. And somebody has a great sense of humor, can laugh. Uh, we I think working with kids, you can't help but, just realize you gotta go with the flow a lot. And, we like to have a lot of fun together. So that would be high in my list of traits that we would need.
Super. Anthony, what would you share?
Well, I'll reiterate the educator first,
Mhm.
really understanding what a school is. I'd say that a, a area of strength that I've been really impressed by since joining Chapin is how approachable and responsive our IT team is. Not just talking about myself, but a lot of times I need help, and across the board, just eager to get out there, figure out what's going on, get to a solution, follow up. It's a team that I think builds trust in the community, and leadership. I think that we continue to build that trust is what I'm looking for. The other piece I'd mention is I'm really interested in a thought leader, somebody who can have those high level conversations with our administration and the board of trustees, and then also I have a thought leader who's able to take these big ideas that we're working on in that long run perspective and then translate it into those PD sessions and kind of get that buy-in as we work towards things that can only make us better as we grow into the future.
No, that's great. Appreciate that. Um, just thinking, final question for both of you. And Trudy, you talked about the one roof or the one, one building, or you're all together. And
Under one roof is
yeah,
our
under
chapter.
one roof. And it's and I was there, and I could really see it and appreciate it. Um, just a little bit more about, like, I mean, the school has been around for so long. It has such, great history, and it's a school with a lot of innovation happening, and you know what it's like for just this amazing all girls school in one place, the youngest kids to the biggest kids, and how that just has an impact on the culture, and why that togetherness is so important, and what you all have been able to either do with that, or how that has an impact on day-to-day school life. Just anything you can kind of share.
Well, you did a
Uh,
good job, Gabe, summarizing. You,
well,
you,
I
you're,
observed it firsthand,
yeah.
but you're living it day to day. So
Yeah.
tell want
No, I
others to
mean,
hear more.
I think that what I really love, and among other things about the school, again, it's kept me here for so many years is, yes, we're almost 125 years old. We'll be celebrating that anniversary in a few school years. And but Miss Chapin, our founder, was very forward thinking. She was a suffragette. She recognized the importance of play and having our students, back when they were wearing bloomers and skirts, that sports were important and that sort of thing, very, very much ahead of her time. But moreover, she really, and there's some great quotes from her that I always love hearing, because, they were said in like the 1920s, but they could have been said today in terms of like, being very innovative and thinking forward. And I'm not remember, I'm not going to say it as beautifully as she did, but there's a quote from her about, if you come back to your school, speaking to the alumni body, if you come back and your school's the same, that's a problem, basically. You know what I mean? Like, we should be changing. And I think that that's a really beautiful thing. The schools in New York have historically not had the same admissions pressures that schools in other areas of the country have sort of suffered from. And suffered is probably a bad word because it's forced them in a good way to innovate earlier on. And so I think New York, maybe surprisingly, has been a little bit slow in some areas, but I feel like Chapin's often been at the cutting edge of those changes. And so, I'm really proud of that. I feel like we don't rest on our laurels. Um, but having said that, there are a lot of really lovely traditions, and there's an ethos that I think permeates the experiences that are all of our community members have, that are derived from um, the sensibilities of Miss Chapin, but also, the modern community we've created. So, uh, hope that adds a
Yeah.
little more color to what you were saying.
Totally, totally. And Anthony, just final thing for you. I mean, Trudy talked about how she had been to an all-girls school, and I'm sure this felt almost like another home for her.
Mhm.
Anthony, as somebody who I presume did not go to all-girls school, what has made you realize this is the right community for you, and how you learn to just appreciate and support the community at Chapin?
So, well, I'll share that I didn't go to an all-girls school, but my first school was an all-boys school. So I have been in the gendered education environment for some time. I think that having been at all boys, co-ed, and all girls, I've seen different aspects of learning in those structures. And I've noticed that our kids really, at moments where it's difficult to to grow, especially in technology or science fields, they have so much support amongst each other and amongst the faculty. And so that, like, to me, I'm so proud of them as they take on these really difficult challenges when they're juniors and seniors. But in order to get to those, a lot of the time, you have to go through some really awkward years of like figuring it out and not knowing the answer and being in a space where it's okay to not know the answer. And so I think that's something that we do really well, is to see that trajectory all the way through. Um, I'll share that I'm married to an electrical engineer, and so my vantage point on tech and like science education is very much in the let's make this a woman-run world, and I want to see that happen. Uh, I'm so proud to be a part of the Chapin crew, and to be making the world the best it can be for our girls. So
Well, let's hope that this search helps make Chapin the best it can be, and even an even better place, and find somebody that shares the same values and is mission aligned. Appreciate both of you taking the time today, and thank you so much for your thoughts.
No
thank you.
problem.
Okay, take care.